this issue with trees out there that we need to deal with. Otherwise, I think we're gonna send all Patrick Street to live at your house, Mr. Mayor, so that while we're being flooded out. Because if we don't move some of these trees, they're gonna do, that's not the mayor's fault.
I can't raise the water in the lake.
I realize that, but the trees there are doing the same thing on the bottom of the river that they're doing on a sand dune, or the start of a sand dune.
Nobody's arguing that point. The point is, how do we move forward? Staff are working on it. We've got a motion that there be 2 council members work with staff and M&R. If we do a costing on it, and what it's going to cost to get rid of some of the trees. If we can, because of the species at risk, then something will come back and we'll get something done. Any other questions on the motion?
Just through you to Brent again. Brent, you mentioned that the report might be ready in 2 or 3 months. Is there any way to expedite that?
I can ask ACOM and find out how far away they are. I'd have to ask. I can't commit them to anything unless I ask.
Because that seems to be an next hurdle we have to cross before we make any corporate decisions.
Yeah,
so,
well, I think council needs to understand the impact of costs and our options to share those.
Clearly, yes, thank you.
Perhaps we can have some phone calls made and some estimates by our next Tuesday meeting to have a quick update. Councilor Underwood?
No, I'm good.
Okay, the motion is on the floor that we have 2 members work as the leads on this with staff. All in favor of that? It's carried. 8.1, minutes of Lambton Shores Fire Board meeting October 18th. I'd ask the chairman to present the minute, discuss the minute.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The report. As chair of the fire board, I just want to say that I'm glad that we have approved the new pumper rescue for the Forest Fire Department. But I guess I'm a little disappointed at the convoluted way we reached the decision and some of the comments made around the whole issue. When it comes to the mechanical fitness of each department's equipment, as confirmed by Chief McLean at the fire board meeting, all equipment is safetied every year. Therefore, while some equipment may be getting a little long in the tooth, it is still safe for rescue and firefighting. Further, the fire board continues to operate as a committee of council and has not made any decision or recommendation that has not been approved by council. And as a highlight, I'd like to commend our Chief Van Bruin and the Grand Bend Fire Department for handling 98 calls this year from January to October. This is 3 times the number of calls handled by the next department, Forest, which had 34 calls over the same period. To all the chiefs and firefighters, it was an exceptionally hot summer, and my compliments on a job well done. And finally, I'd like to move that we accept the minutes of the fire board and recommendations contained in the report regarding the forest fire charge.
Second. Councilor Underwood, second. Any questions or just Mr. Murday?
Yeah, I made a reservation because I had asked for several questions to be answered and by the fire chief, and they weren't answered. So I have a reservation that this is considerably higher than the budgeted and area. The budget we had allotted for it, and I think it majorly changes our approach to firefighting in the municipality, because all the other fire departments are going to want to change their approach as well. So I'm going to be voting in opposition to that.
Okay.
Not because I'm not supportive of increasing the quality of our machine. We do need to do something, but just not to the extent a customized chassis and other details, which seem to be more of a Cadillac approach than necessary.
Okay. Any other comment? All in favor of the motion to accept the minutes and the recommendation? Opposed? It's carried. Thank you. 8.2 is our CO report regarding private and public partnerships for review and direction. Councilor Bonstein?
You know what I'd like to do with this one? This is a really good starting point. And again, this is something I'd like to see us discuss at a strategic planning session, because what I see lacking, and I appreciate, John, where you're coming from with this, but we have an issue, I think, here with a philosophy around operationalizing public-private partnerships. This is not just about infrastructure. This is about when do we have a contract that provides a service for us. And that's more operation than capital. And so That's the discussion I would like to have with this, where we take the time to flesh it out and say, when do we look at service contracts as opposed to just a capital contract? What's our philosophy around it? Is there consistency around the municipality? That type of thing, but I think this is a great start.
Don, do you want to comment on the report? No, you're just, okay.
I think we need to take the time on it, that's what I'm saying.
So are you deferring it, or?
I'd like to defer to a strategic planning session where it's dedicated to this.
Councillor Russell,
Yeah,
the motion is to,
I'll second the motion. to discuss it. Is there a motion there to?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll second the motion to discuss it, but can I?
yes, you can.
Okay, great report.
Yeah.
It's a good start, as Councillor Bonesteel said. When I went to that conference last, can you remember? It was a long time ago. But anyways, it was really excellent because what I saw was a lot of examples nationwide that this type of thing is part and parcel of how we do business now. And I think the rationale that was used by Councillor Bonesteel is it's the why you can always develop the rest of the process, because we obviously are doing it today. I mean, John, it's an excellent report. But I think the rationale has to be developed, and that comes through strategic planning. The policies and procedures can fall from there. But I think the opportunity that arises from P3s is always there as an opportunity. Sometimes you're going to take it, and sometimes you're not going to. But you go through a process that's led through the strategic plan. So I think it obviously has to go to strategic planning.
Okay, so Councillor Bonesteel's motion to refer this to strategic planning.
Yeah. A specific date dedicated to this.
I would actually really agree with Councillor Russell, because I think there's a lot of potential benefit of public-private partnerships. Now, I recognize there are some drawbacks as well, but I think it is something that we need to give additional consideration to. And one point that John made in his report was that in the city of Ottawa, they make private-public partnerships more of a two-way street by not limiting themselves to considering proposals only generated from their own internal review. They actually allow people to come to them with proposals. And I think that's certainly something that we have to open ourselves up to. So as part of our strategic discussion, I hope that we can investigate that a little further as well.
That's in the summary, yeah? Okay, all in favor, we refer this to strategic planning. Carried, thank you. Councillor Scott?
Can I ask what Tuesday this will be for?
In the future.
Do we have open Tuesdays coming up? I'd like to know what date, I'd like a timeline.
April, May.
Well,
But
whichever,
there's
but
budget
I wanna know.
implications too.
We're talking about strategic planning at the next budget meeting, so I guess there's this next Tuesday meeting. Scott, can you deal with this then?
We've got a lot on that Tuesday. I don't know.
Councillor Underwood?
So I just want to be clear, so next Tuesday when we do a strategic planning session, we're going to be discussing
Private-public partnerships.
public-private.
Using this as a guide.
I just need to know.
Councillor Russell?
And I think it's timely because we did get a report on the whole idea of one of our contracts that we have to deal with this fall. So it's probably better that we deal with the larger issue before we deal with that contract that has to be started. And this is a process that we started a year and a half ago, and it's taken until now to get to the point of having a report on the whole process.
Okay. All in favor of that? It's carried. 8.3, operating capital budget, guidance and direction. Staff are working on budgets, going for 0, +2, -5, council direction. We've added things to budget through other motions already with some of the motions that we tabled regarding fire departments and whatever. Deputy Mayor Day?
Yes, just read it to Janet. Janet, did I read accurately that we should have a 5% increase
In assessment?
in assessment? So I guess my point is that if we're going to have a 5% increase, I don't think it's warranted to have a 2% beyond the 5% increase. So I think that we should be reasonable in light of the fact that everyone's predicting that 2013 is going to be a difficult financial year for people. And I think we should really move towards limiting it to what our increase is with the assessments, as they have done in the past as well. So that 5% increase value the assessment alone.